Gentlemen, good evening, and to those viewing, welcome to All In, All United. Nico,
Good
Phil,
night, good night.
Caveman, JP, fellas, welcome and good night. Glad to have you all on. So we getting into it,
Yes, was.
Garnacho goal at the death to give us all 3 points. In what was a very frustrating performance. Missed chances, poor decisions, fatigue. All you know how hard it would have been for us to drop points today and had to wait a whole month and change with this result sitting on our chest. That'll be plenty to carry for a month, watching World Cup, Because it'll always be like, you're watching and enjoying football, World Cup football, and you always have to be,
Because somebody saying, man,
But,
that World Cup will finish the chances for the national team, but not for us.
But Garnacho goal, as I said before, fellas, Garnacho goal, the man came big in Fergie time, and won it for us. How we doing? What we saying?
Yeah, if I should get to the three letter, the three word. What? The three word, whatever it is.
3 word review. All right, we'll come to that. Well, if that is Nico, I would Nico saying. All right, Phil, what you saying?
Yeah. Today was like don't I saw we saw the results that happened yesterday, right? We saw Man City drop points. We saw Arsenal and Liverpool win. We saw Chelsea drop. Newcastle acquire 3 points. So today was a must win, right? So at the end of the day, doesn't matter how we were going to win today, we needed to get 3 points. And I guess it came down to the 93rd minute, right? So yeah.
Yeah, JP.
Yeah,
JP got
it started off as a frustrating game, and I thought it'd been a kind of sour show this evening, but thankfully for Garnacho, come and rescue the 3 points. That make me even a lot better.
Yeah. Cave, how we feeling?
Yes, sir. Feeling better now. Well, not no, but after that last minute goal. Hey, nothing beats a last minute winner. There's not much that could beat a last minute winner. So was feeling good. It was a roller coaster kind of game though, because it felt like a familiar feeling, like dropping points here now. But then Garnacho came through at the end, so
Nice.
it
So let
it,
me just
it
get some.
takes away some complaints. Now go ahead.
All right. Nice. So let me just get some comments and then we go get to the 3 word reviews and Nico we go start you off on that one. Everton on the inside, good evening, buddy, man. Thanks for joining. Glory, Man United. The RG on fire. All right. Arun on the inside, good night, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. Jason Lynch on the inside, good night, buddy. Thanks for joining, man. Yes, blessings and love, man. That young boy scary. Yeah, boy. Rapid. You're also saying here, hope we look after him and instill more discipline than we did with Greenwood. Yeah. So Nico, let me get the 3 word reviews, and I don't know if Caveman have been viewing us long enough to know what is required, but I guess you'll pick up on it, right? So go through, Nico.
Yeah, without dwelling on it as yet, which I definitely know we will get into. End of Ronaldo. Right? Without getting into it.
All right. Phil?
my 3 words. Get in Garnacho.
Get in. So wait now, Nico is get out Ronaldo and you get in Garnacho.
Yeah.
JP?
Out to the old and into the new, I guess.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Garnacho saved us.
Garnacho saved us. All right. Caveman.
I'm gonna be boring. I say last minute winner.
Last minute winner. All right, we accept all that, And mine is thank you, Argentina. All right? And I mean it for
But the boy grew up in Spain,
Garnacho
eh?
and
I just
Martinez.
saying.
Now, but he's still
Alright,
Argentinian. All right?
alright.
Now, but watch me. Martinez too, eh? Credit to
Martinez
both of
proper way.
them.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Martinez
yeah. So
different.
thank you, Argentina. Yeah, boy. Some more comments on the inside here. Okay, yeah. Hey, David Curtin on the inside. Good night, buddy. Thanks for joining, man.
Good night.
All right. Arun saying here, my true words, pa.
Panini.
Only.
Nah, but he was a pest boy.
Yeah, boy. He
Yeah,
was
Palino was
definitely.
alright.
I saw.
Yeah, boy.
He's
Yeah,
27
yeah.
years of age, but boy, I'm not gonna lie, that guy was a pest today, boy.
Yeah.
He was good. He was good.
Yeah.
Rishi Shripat on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. Saying I want to be cautious, but at the same time, I feel as if I see in Alejandro Garnacho 7 in the future. All right.
Now keep your head on your shoulder. No doubt.
We have Nasir Igal. Man, Nacho. Don't know. All right. And guys, don't forget to like and share the podcast. We want to get more people in on the content, right? And I'm bringing in Jody. Jody, are they right? All right, nice. We want to make sure we have the president of the Cristiano Ronaldo Association on the inside of it.
Yo, you stink that way.
It's something to say. The thing with the young boy is he's quick, traps clean, puts the ball on the ground quickly, sizes up and everyone's he's scary. I tell you, yeah. Arun saying here must give credit to
I made some
3 points.
6 saves, boy.
Yeah, was still available
some
later on.
today.
Correct.
Definitely. Yeah.
Simeon saying here, hey, Simeon, welcome, man. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying Marcel in Ronaldo form today. Yeah, but them fellas only missing by. So Jody, give me a 3-word review now.
Look at right there.
It's finally over. It's finally
Yeah.
over. All right. So fellas, let me get into today's game now. We started off positive. You know, sometimes I just always say sometimes when you see the fellas walking out from the changing rooms, they just see the attitude, and sometimes they just know we skin cut, so we gonna drop points today. You know, I thought the game started off a kind of shaky way where we were struggling to break it out struggling to come up from the back. You know, and Fulham, as a team that has always been up and down, they don't even. I can't remember when Fulham last survived Premier League. You know, they have always been the team to get a skin cut, and Fulham has been playing a kind of football now. You know, the kind of reinforcements, the kind of recruitment that they did, bringing in Willian, you know, the Paulinho fella. They have been looking pretty good. You know, even City last week, I think, had to leave it late to win as well. You know, so I didn't think for any minute that this was going to be an easy game. Right? On top of that, the fact that we don't have options on the bench. We don't have much options on the bench. Guys, let me get into the game. With some of your thoughts on what happened today. Nico, you want to start it off?
Yeah. As much as I knew that Fulham was coming at us, because at the end of the day, this game like a free hit for Fulham. Fulham in a decent position on the table. They were about 8 on the table, and this game playing United at home before the World Cup, knowing how much players on Fulham team really going to the World Cup anyway, in comparison to our team, I think they had something to prove. And they had everything in their favor to go out and to prove it. And I think they did that. I was surprised how good they were, to be honest. You know, I was surprised how good they were. I think it was an even contest. Especially in the midfield. We had the chances. Martial had the chances. Rashford had chances. De Gea came up big for us. I think the lineup was more or less what I thought it would have been. With again seeing Maguire is definitely fourth choice centre back, right, and deservingly so. So we know that Lindelof would have been starting, and also Rashford playing on the left and Garnacho coming on. So by the time I see the lineup, I know got Garnacho on the bench. I say, well, all right, most likely Rashford gonna go centre forward, Master gonna come off because of the lengthy injury, and Garnacho gonna come on and do what Garnacho doing of recent. I didn't know that it was 90 plus 3 is when either seal the deal. But again, he looking bright, he looking on fire, he looking confident, he looking arrogant. I think it's that kind of arrogance that United players had lacked of recently. And you see now with players, even Anthony has a bit of arrogance with him. You see now with Garnacho, and you're seeing where United is being more of a force, more of a force on the forward line. And yeah, we saw that today.
Nice. Phil, jump in now.
When I posted the lineup today, I predicted that the first person that's going to be subbed is Alanga. Lo and behold, it was Alanga, right? With regards to the two things that stood out for me were obviously Malacia playing right back and Alanga as well too, right? And today I saw both of them struggling. They were making some silly mistakes and they're being bodied off the ball so easily, right? By the end of the day, other than those two on the right, I think the starting lineup kind of spoke for himself. I was just hoping that Martial would stay fit for at least the first half, right? And so said, so done, right? So when it came to that substitution of Elanga, that's what I predicted. I told myself Garnacho would be coming on, but it was when, right? David De Gea pulled off some great saves today, but I must say thank God for Christian Eriksen. What an intelligent football player he is, boy. Very high IQ. He definitely was one to watch today in terms of scoring his first goal for United just before the World Cup, and even the 1-2 pass to lead to the winning goal, right? So, yeah, my stand-up performances were obviously De Gea, Christian Eriksen, and obviously Garnacho as well too. So yeah.
Yeah. Let me just get some comments before I move on to the other guys, right? It's something saying here they are making Spain looking like they should have carried him. The only way he went is if somebody get injured. Alright. Simeon saying Rusty and the man still looking as good or better or as good as or better. Alright. Nasir Egal saying De Gea man of the match. Alright. Some would argue for different players, but De Gea name in the hat for sure. Alright. Abdi Latif. Alright, good night. Thanks for joining, buddy. He's saying after Ronaldo interview, United boss will bench him until he leaves the club. Alright, we'll stick around. We'll get into this. We'll touch on it, right? I love Jamaican accent.
Well,
That's not Jamaican.
that none of us here are Jamaican, but
Wrong one, buddy.
Yeah, that's Bayesian, right? So Phil, I think you have a fun, Phil.
Wait
till you hear caveman.
What an accent so close to the Jamaican that mine? So it got to be one and not me.
Well, I mean, he probably meant to put Bayesian, but he just put Jamaican, right? So you have a fun, Phil, right? Wait until you hear Cave-on. Ethan saying here the lineup was balanced. Yeah, can't disagree with it. You're also saying here, and we're looking like we'll be ready for life after Ronaldo. Ever since saying here, anyone else realize how far Ilanga fall off? No doubt, boy. Simeon saying here that centre back Pierre put in real work today. Yeah, no doubt. His son saying here, still have a deal with Eriksen, probably one of the best piece of business we did in transfer window. Creative point of view, can't disagree with you. Anyway, JP, Thoughts on the game? Lineup.
Yeah, the lineup was more or less predictable. I didn't expect anything too different from it. Um, so no surprises in that. Ilanga though was really poor. He was off it today. Why he fallen so badly where the improving. And I think what we saw today was the problem in the squad depth as we're talking about almost every week. Where when he had to come off, we didn't really have anybody who we could naturally bring on that side to continue what he was doing. Because I don't ever like Bruno there. Didn't expect Martial to that man. It really wasn't one of his better performances. We were wasteful again. Um, but the introduction of Garnacho really changed the game. He showed that he have that quality to come and make a change off the bench and posing a bigger problem for players who injured like Sancho right now because he seemed to be taking that spot away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cave.
Um, yeah, I think I agree with everyone else. The lineup pretty much picked itself. Um, when you take into consideration, Adala was going to be out. The only common sense thing was to put Malacia, switch Malacia over to the right. Um, thankfully, what I like about Ten Hag, he's a gambler, but he's a quick learner because I think he realized that Ronaldo, Rashford on the right is much weaker than any other position, whether he playing through the middle or on the left. So him starting Rashford on the left today in a must-win game, I think that was a smart move. Um, and Elanga was literally the only other option we could have gone with. Um, with that said, this is kind of alarming how we're stretched we're stretched right now as a squad. So to still be grinding out results and getting results, 3 points here there is credit to Ten Hag and the players. Everyone got stuck in today, especially my boy Martinez. I'm surprised he doesn't have any more children because that dude does not pollute. Does not pollute, man. So Ericsson to me was man of the match. Glad to see Marshall got through it without another injury. Um, that's something that I always touch on Marshall's injuries, and it's not just Marshall's injuries. It's the staff, the medical staff. I have some questions on their know-how also, but I'm glad to see he came through okay. And Garnacho is the X factor, man. That boy is the X factor right now. Um, the only concern for me is how stretched we are. Even if Ronaldo Katie last ball for United, um, we don't have the tools to. We don't have the squad depth to replace him up front um, efficiently, I should say. Not that he's been doing much this season, anyways, but still, we still gonna need a forward going forward. Is Ronaldo? His part to pick up anytime. Probably won't be with us, but I don't. I for one, I usually don't rate players off anyway. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I had to say. Oh, and that thing I want to say too. In the second half, man, we really be falling off in the second half a lot this season. Not just this game, but a lot of games this season. We just been falling off in the second half. Um, and I was wondering because I usually see it when Ronaldo is sub on in the second half, or if he starts, and because wasn't up for fitness. But without Ronaldo, it is still something that the team suffers with, and that is they just struggle in the second half. So I Don't know what it is exactly, but I think it's something that Ten Hag and the players have to address going forward because we can't keep playing football one half and making it hard on ourselves going forward for the rest, especially when it comes to the nitty gritty of the season.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
just want
got
to
to
touch
say.
in on Cable a bit there. So I know Tenag was playing almost the same team as much as he could for majority of the games. So I don't know if that maybe kind of catching up to the team now, where we feel in the second half.
Yeah, man, I agree.
Yeah,
Because
possibly,
Yeah.
possibly.
Jody,
Fred and
you talking?
McTominay aren't the most reliable replacements. But go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, the team selection was okay for me. I was just expecting probably Ganacho to play instead of Ilanga, but as Philip said, Tenag realized Rashford more productive off the left side. You know, Emmanuel go like this one. I find Marcel, he had a good game. The only problem was he just wasn't finishing. You understand? He just wasn't finishing. And that how much weeks upon weeks, that is the biggest problem. He just not finishing the chances we get because we so support Fulham to bed since the first half. Ericsson and all, which for me I find was the man of the match. He get a sitter to score his second goal. You
Yeah.
understand? He just happened to play it wide, a little wide, but again, with the other killer instinct, Bruno, I don't know, like when Tenak put him out on the right side, like that'll be the end of Bruno game. He doesn't care function after that. Once he go out on the right hand side, and when he made the substitution, when he took off Ilanga, I wasn't expecting McTominay to come on. I was expecting Garnacho to come on. Yeah, but when McTominay came on, I thought McTominay would have dropped back with Casemiro. Ericsson would have pushed up into the number 10 role with Bruno wide now. But I don't know, however, he worked out his philosophy. He know what he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. Nico had touched on something pretty interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Right? Did you all going into the game think that, with the World Cup being a week away, it would have affected our players in any way? Mentally, however, because I mean, this is a big thing. World Cup is a big thing, and players who were selected don't want to miss out. So before going into the game, did you all think that it would have affected them anyway? And after at full time, did you all think that it did affect our players in any way?
Nah, I don't think so, because if you check it out, them fellas and them give full 100 today out on the field. I seen Rashford flying into tackles, jumping to head up ball. You understand? Everybody was giving the 100% effort out on the field today. You understand? World Cup, they go deal with that after. Like Martinez, Shaw, Rashford, well, Casemiro, everybody, Casemiro and all that tackle, he won in the midfield for us to score the goal. That and all, you understand? Them fellas wasn't holding back today.
Yeah, I didn't see any signs of the team holding back. I don't know if they had it in the back of their minds at any point. I definitely can't say that. But out on the field, I didn't see that. And what I saw was just a more determined Fulham. But I didn't see that we were in any way pulling out of challenges or didn't seem committed for the 90 plus minutes. I didn't see that.
Yeah, those fellas showed today why they got selected for their national teams, right? So it don't make sense, getting selected and then reverting to a lackluster style of play today, right? So yeah, those fellas gave it their all. Well, most of them, not all, but most of them gave it their all today. And yeah, a month from now, hopefully they still have the same energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well,
Yeah, man.
let
I
me just
think
get some comments here, and I guess that's it.
oh
Yeah, go ahead.
oh I think Ten Hag is changing the culture at the club. Um, because I think the players that he selected today know that they cannot come and not give 100% today. Like they have to be professional at all times. So I think the guys were professional. I don't see anyone slouching or slumping. Even the guys that played out of position, Malasia, I saw him recovering, getting stuck in the tackles. No one was, and that's the thing. As a professional, you got to think, you got to deal with what in front of you right now, and not what's ahead of you. And I think that's the approach that the team and manager took today, dealing with dealing with today, and worry about anything else afterwards.
Yeah, and that's important because I mean it's something that he mentioned in the press conference leading up to the game that the team they are focused on Fulham, right? And especially after that kind of performance we saw against Aston Villa in the league, where he said he was very, very disappointed, he was upset. It's a way, right? Those fellas could have gone out today and given 50% or 60%. They had to go out and give everything and then deal with whatever comes after, you know? Let me just get some comments here, right? Um, Arun saying, hey, Ilanga was not bad. The defensive work he put in using his pace was very effective, and we almost conceded when he came off on the right side. He maybe didn't provide much going forward, but he was definitely central in defense on the right. And I guess, guys,
I
we go agree with that.
no, I
Go ahead,
agree with
Nico.
it because I agree with it because I think with Ilanga in the team had a better balance to the team. In comparison, when we played Aston Villa with Rashford on the right and Acho on the left, the team was way out of balance. We didn't see the best of Rashford, we didn't see the best of Garnacho, we didn't see the best of anybody in that game, right? But today, as much as we didn't see the best of, let me see, even Rashford, he was more effective, and we had a better balance. Even I find Malasia, as he playing right back out of position, I find he did well for not being playing in that position regularly. So I find he did well for, yes, we want more from him, but I find he did well for the balance of the team today.
JP, what is it made of Malasia's performance today?
I think he didn't do too badly at first. Found out real easily, and he couldn't really find his way early on. I guess it was difficult because he had a player. But I think the more the game went, he grew into the position a little more, and you saw where he got a matter of not being comfortable on the right side to start the game. I think it shows something in him too that I like, where he didn't really back down. You didn't see him drop his head when he get big on and just kind of lose himself in the game. He continued to fight, and I think he grew into it. But I mean, it still shows that we desperately need backup in that position because it's not something that I would want a chance against a better team.
Yeah, yeah. Ray Ramlal on the inside, good night, buddy. He's saying, I'm so pissed at this Ronaldo. All right, stay tuned, buddy. He's saying, it's clear Ronaldo will be gone. We need at least 3 players in January because I think Wan Bissaka will be gone as well. Yeah. Eric Lewis saying Garnacho saying one word 3 times: Argentina, Argentina, Argentina.
I know the coach when he
Aaron
playing
saying,
somebody can make it so you can call up Garnacho.
now let him leave Garnacho right there. Let Garnacho work more with Ten Hag. Aaron saying here, Andres learned to cross, but yeah. First half he was decentish. Second half,
For the real,
Simeon saying here,
for real.
yeah,
Yeah, he
Simeon
fall
saying
off
here,
second
if
half.
yeah, he fall off. Simeon saying here, if Garnacho didn't score, a lot of opinions would have been different.
Exactly, like why these fellas don't take the chances, because we created a lot of chances today.
But that opinion would not change, Nico, because we did say that,
Yeah, we
We
already
just
said
say
it. Yeah,
it
we
knowing
said
that
it.
we
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah.
But we are mulling it now. We are mulling it, but we're not
Yeah.
mulling on it because
Yeah.
we won.
Correct. Correct. Simeon saying here they looked tired physically and mentally from the schedule. Showed more in some guys. Saw a lot of tackles and that was fatigue tackles, throwing themselves instead of running. Yeah. And Casemiro was one of them. Casemiro, when Casemiro get tired, he just do real crap, eh? Them kind
If
of one-time passes that's always going out.
yeah, boy.
You know?
That's not taking
Eric saying,
Casemiro over anybody now. It's like that's
no,
not.
no, no, we are
I
changing, we are
think,
saying no, you know.
yeah, no, yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
Eric saying here, I like Rooney's recent comments on Ronaldo. We have to terminate his contract in January. Ronaldo can unfortunately hurt our top four chances. All right. So I want to touch on one thing before we move on to the Ronaldo matter. Right? I mean, unfortunately, we can't not talk about Ronaldo on the show because Ronaldo doing stuff for us to talk about it, right? So, guys, we've come to the because of the World Cup, right? The first part of um, Ten Hag's reign as Manchester United manager, right? So, what do you think are the positives and the negatives of this first period of Ten Hag's management at Manchester United, and probably after you point out your positives and your negatives, you could get a rating out of 10, right? And even guys in the comments, you will feel free to jump in this as well. So again, what do you all think were the positives and the negatives of Ten Hag's management after this first period that has been cut by the World Cup, and how you rate it out of 10?
All right, I will go first. Positives. Positives is how we managing the team, how we managing Ronaldo. As much as right, I think that is how Ronaldo pissed because he thought he could have walk all over Ten Hag like how we maybe did to the other coaches, right? So I think management of Ronaldo is one. Management of um, Garnacho, right? Because from early we saw the talent in Garnacho. We saw Garnacho came on against Atletico Madrid, and we saw the quality, and then we was asking ourselves, but we struggling on top, but why we not seeing Garnacho, right? But definitely Ten Hag was managing that situation, right? So I think how we managing the team overall, how we managing the Maguire situation, right? I think that could have also been very different, right? Because let me say if he started the season with let me say Varane and Lindelof without giving Maguire a chance. Again, there's another pressure that he dealt with by saying, "Here, what Maguire, you go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead and show the world if you deserve your pick. And if you play good enough to deserve your pick, you will play. But if you play good enough to suit me, you'll get dropped." So then that take off a pressure off of him. So I think he managed that well, right? So people, it seems I think he managed that well. I think the position we are in, I don't think. I mean, maybe 3 or 6 points more, maybe possibly. But again, it's not his fault. It's the strikers who won't take in their chances. Fault, more or less, right? So I think in terms of that, he has done well. The negatives for me again will always be the transfer window. I think that we still didn't manage that transfer window well. But again, it's a rebuilding process, and I think he will get it right. I think he understands, as we always say, Ten Hag does see things like how we does see it, and he would know that definitely. He knows what we need to do, and I think he would correct the signings come either January or the summer, right? And I rating
All
a solid 7, a solid 7. Could even be higher, but a
right.
solid 7.
All right. Nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Jody, jump in on this now.
Yeah, positive. I like how he learned from that Man City game. He learned from that Man City game that there are certain games he will have to change his style of playing that he wants to play. You know, as Nico was just saying as well, how we handling the players and them. From the biggest of the players, which is Ronaldo, to the smallest, which is Garnacho, how we handling that situation. He letting them know, well, I is the boss here. And as I discussed with you earlier on ring. Whoever between Ronaldo and Ten Hag, I between them. Yeah, me going to really get involved in that right now. You understand? But the negative, I think sometimes like you don't read the game the way you're supposed to be reading it and making the proper substitutions on them. I mean, he had to work with what he have, but it have certain players you'll see making subs with, but you'll be like, why didn't he bring on this one instead? Who might have done a better job now. As for the rating, for me, I go give him for the first half so far, I go give him anywhere between like a 6.5 to 7. That's Nicole, you know. But I go wait till the season finishes really to give a proper judgment on how things work out.
All right, nice. Caveman?
One of the positives that I definitely like was before Ten Hag signed, when he was linked with the club, I watched a few of his games, and a thing that I saw that we really lacked at United were players covering for each other, and well, two things: players covering for each other and players delegating to other players. What I mean by delegating is I'm gonna use Martinez as an example. Martinez as an example today against Fulham, left from left centre back and followed the striker, the Brazilian striker guy. I followed him straight to the right back position while Lindelof dropped into left centre back. That's something that is hallmark of Ten Hag's Ajax. Players will keep, if you commit to tracking a man, you don't pull out of that. What happens is someone drops in and cover you while you continue that, and that's something that I grew to like under Sir Alex Ferguson. Since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, we haven't seen much of it. So that aspect, I like that he has brought that back to the club with players covering each other, and not delegating. Because before you would see like if like for instance, I'm gonna use Martinez as an example. Under different coaches, Martinez would have probably left Lindelof or left Malacia to mark the guy, and then it's going to cause some confusion. But so that's one aspect I like of what Ten Hag has brought to United so far. Um, and next thing was very surprised at how quick he turned it around after those first two games. Um, I think Ten Hag jogging with the guys really told the guys that hey, I'm not here to be y'all's slave master or just spin the whip and tell y'all what to do. I'm in this with y'all, and we're gonna go forward. Who want to go forward? Y'all coming with us. Who don't want to? Y'all can get off or y'all can get off. So I think that attitude change, knowing that the manager is in it with you, is definitely good for the culture change. A negative that a negative so far, how thin the squad is. A couple significant injuries, and we are almost back to square one. Right now, hanging on by a thread. So I think this World Cup is actually probably going to benefit us more than it will hurt us. Because it gives time for key players to strengthen whatever they need to strengthen, and for others to recover, to add some depth. Um, so squad depth is definitely an issue for me. But that's not pretty much on Ten Hag. I think I don't want to say that he's taking too long to figure out the team, but something that was also synonymous with his Ajax was that he took a lot of gambles with moving players around. Because what I realized about Ten Hag wants players that can play a primary position and a secondary position. And even for that secondary position, there's not that much of a drop off. So I was questioning how how good it'll be in the Premier League or in England. And case an example, Bruno. When Bruno gets put on the right, um, there's a big drop off. Um, so that's a negative that I hope that he gets the depth to address it, or you know, he discovers it somewhere within the club to address it. So those are my positives and negatives.
Nice, nice man. Phil.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take it too long because I know everybody in the comments want to discuss Ronaldo, right? So can't give Ten Hag an 8 because we're not in the top four. I'm gonna give Ten Hag maybe a 7 or 7.5. For one point for Ten Hag because before he was appointed Man United manager, he wanted reassurances before he became this manager. Case in point, I want to be in charge of transfer dealings when I'm manager. First point. Second point, the ability to have an established centre back partnership in Martinez and Varane, right? And that kind of flips in saying that he has the ability and the cojones to drop Maguire, right? And I'm sure most Man United fans will be pleased with that, right? So that's 2 points for Ten Hag. Third point, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, Lissandro Martinez. I think those three players have been our best three players this season, and lo and behold, they came in the summer transfer window, right? Um, fourth point, Eric Ten Hag is a no nonsense guy. Eric Ten Hag is here to be your manager first and your friend afterwards, right? I think that was the opposite way around for certain managers. I want to be your friend. I want everybody to like me. I don't care if you like me or not. It's either my way or the highway, right? But he's done it in a professional way. Um, Fifth point, in my opinion, Man United will slowly but surely be getting back some sort of identity, right? A style of play within the next probably you can see what Ten Hag wants to do with the team in terms of like a philosophy and a style of play, right? So that's what five points. Two more points Ten Hag has made. Ten Hag's ability to handle certain situations that may lead to drama, right? There's certain situations that Ten Hag quickly wants to put to bed. He's not going to dwell over it for the next 3 and 4 weeks and what's not, right? He's going to put that situation close to bed, right? I can't find a 7 point, but I'll get back to you guys on that. In terms of negative percent, it's not really his fault, but the negatives are obviously like the squad depth. Some of these, you can see the drop in quality from the first team to the substitutions as well. And then also with regards to Donny van de Beek, right? It's not directly Ten Hag's fault, but Donny van de Beek, in my opinion, um, should be doing well in a Ten Hag system, right? It's kind of pretty self-explanatory, right? He should be doing well, but that's not the case, right? So I guess stick with a 7.5 out of 10, not 8, because we're not in the top four.
And plenty of what you say, Phil. I mean, I kind of had it as well because I had he positive is making big decisions. We've always wanted a manager who would make the big decisions. Everybody's saying that, and for some people, when he do make the big decisions, you have an issue with it, right? But I mean, he's here, he's making big decisions, and you all noted it. Nicole noted how he handled the Ronaldo situation. Phil, you talk about how he handled Maguire, right? So and it has improved the team, right? What I liked in the earlys was how player performances was dictating the team sheets, right? Even when Casemiro had come on, we know Casemiro was going to be a starter, but he didn't just tell Casemiro, well, go ahead. McTominay was playing well at that point in time, and it was just a matter of time before we saw Casemiro. But you have to kind of instill that kind of mentality that you can't feel like you just walk in this team, right? And he continued rewarding McTominay because McTominay was having good performances, right? And we were questioning what's going on, but it's the principle, right? All of his transfers have impacted the team significantly, right?
Yep.
Every single one, right? Even the least in Malasia, has come in and done well, right? We talked some time ago about having two good left backs, the both of them performing when they get a chance, right? And you mentioned it, Phil, the identity, the philosophy we see in something My only negative is, and I guess there's you could argue, but I just find he insisting too much with certain senior players. You know, when you have the likes of Iqbal who could get a shot in some of the Europa League games. You know, I mean, we waiting. So we saw how well he did in preseason, and he hasn't gotten a second on the field yet. You know, so that is my only thing. But I mean, the season's still young. We had the second half of the season to see where we're all going with the likes of the Iqbals and who else again that coming through the academy. All right. Let's just get some comments here on this, and then we'll move on to the topic.
Oh, what's your rating, Reem?
Right. My rating, seven.
Okay.
All right. Eric saying here, I liked Rooney's. Oh no, I read this one already. Okay, so Chef on the inside, Chef. Good night, man. Thanks for
Hey,
joining, man.
Chef.
So
Good
you just
night, man.
ended now. This is too much now. Yeah. Ray Ramlal on the inside as well. He's saying here the positives for me is the control he took over the team. I like the fact how um, he will play the players who inform, right? And I think I just noted that. So that's correct. Anderson saying here, I will give him an 8 out of 10 positive ability to adapt. Negative, none really. All right. None? What? Simeon saying here, Nico nailed the rating, the transfer market complacency. All right. Javid on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining, man. Also saying the double, yeah, buddy. So you all get the likings up and get the content out there. All right. So fellas, Jody,
I'm gonna get water for this here,
right?
boys.
So guys, and I remember mentioning to Nico when I heard that Ronaldo wasn't well for the Aston Villa game in the cup. It was a little bit fishy, right? And I tell him, I say, I just have a feeling that Eric Ten Hag probably tell Ronaldo, you may not start these 2 games, but you'll be part of the squad. And Ronaldo say, yeah, what's going on? Nah, I ain't going through that, right? Tell them I'm sick or something, right? And that was because a couple days after I saw Ronaldo looking perfectly well, taking out pictures with his daughter for her birthday. So it kind of had me wondering. And then Ten Hag say, after the game against Aston Villa, that it's not a sick, he should be well, it's not a bad sickness, so he should be well for today.
Yeah.
And again, he was completely omitted from the squad. Then the news broke of an interview, with
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan. Yeah. So I want to get some of the comments from that interview in, right? Because he spoke, and I just want to pull 2 things, and I know some of you would have seen part, and from what Jody explained to me, is that the full interview has not been released yet. So what we saw is just a part of the interview. So what we'll probably do, guys, is when that come out, we might have a next little, podcast to deal with that, right? But for what has come out is what we're going to talk about this evening, right? So I have 2 comments on that Ronaldo made here that I want to kind of highlight, right? The first one, he spoke about Ralph Rangnick, and he's saying here, if you're not even a coach, how are you going to be the boss of Manchester United? I've never ever heard of him, right? And then on Ten Hag, who is the current manager, right? He said, I don't have respect for Eric Ten Hag because he doesn't show respect for me. If you don't have respect for me, I will never have any for you. Right. Now, guys. Now, okay, so before we go there was also a post from Fabrizio Romano. Right? So let me just see if I could get it here. I wouldn't pull it up. I'll just read what the post from Fabrizio said. Where is it? Basically, it's saying that Ronaldo felt disrespected by the club, right, and that they want him out. Right? I don't want to misquote the guy, right? So, guys, Now, let us stretch it a little bit and try to see it from Cristiano's point of view. Was Cristiano Ronaldo disrespected by Manchester United? Because that is the premise of his grievance. Anybody?
Yeah.
I
It
think he
had
was.
from it.
I think.
Okay, go ahead. Go
I,
ahead, Keith.
I think. For that. For when he said he was disrespected, I think that was when he was. When he took this summer off, wasn't it? Because he said that he was. Because his daughter was sick, so he stayed. Well, she was hospitalized or something. So, um, I'm asking. For
Yeah,
clarification.
but that was part of it. Yes, because I know
Okay.
what you were saying was that
No, it's
the club,
alleged, Bema.
yeah, of course. Well,
Yeah, it's alleged
no, that
that
wasn't
guy.
alleged there, Jody. To be honest, he actually
No.
said that.
Concerning the interview where he said he was disrespected by Ten Hag and he had no respect for him and then it's alleged that is the cause of it now because how he got out in hospital and I think Ten Hag wanted to give him the time off or some kind of thing like it's alleged. I say for me.
No, but he said that he said that the club made it look like if he didn't want to come for preseason, and the real reason was, or that he wasn't actually talking the truth about the situation, and he felt disrespected about that also, right? Maybe take it about other things, but that was one of the things that he said he felt disrespected by. Yeah, Kev, you go ahead.
And the question from Kareem was basically saying, putting it from Cristiano's point of view. Because here's the thing, this not even from just Cristiano. This is just a general point of view. Is that you see a lot of things being leaked to the press from the club's point of view. That means there are people within the club that have good connections with journalists, and they leak information to the press. And we as the fans, we lap it up all the time. And our way of thinking is, does this player, the players don't even, many times players don't even respond to what is being said about them from someone within the club. And we as fans just take it as gospel, and many times we turn on the player. I think that needs to be changed from a fan's point of view and give people their fair chance when they speak up, because we do not have all the information. We never have all the information. And I think it's better to get as much information as possible. And I'm very much for our players speaking up and speaking their truth and letting us know what's going on from their point of view, instead of just having this one track way of thinking, just shut up and play football. Nah, these human beings. So if a man is grieving, or not grieving, well, he was still grieving when the wife had a miscarriage, but then no, she had a daughter is sick or hospitalized. Can't remember the exact words, and the club is making it seem like you were avoiding preseason training. No, that's taking it too far. Like, don't care what agenda you may have against him, you cannot go and try to spin it against a player, knowing well that he has personal issues going on. And that's why I never really had any judgments on like, people always ask me what's my opinion on Ronaldo missing preseason. Personal business, personal stuff, family business. That's as much as I left it. So no, the truth is finally coming out, and we're seeing it from the player's point of view. And this is why I really don't have opinions on things until more information comes out. So I think it's very important that you get as much information as possible and stop just running with what is being fed to us from one side of the story.
Yeah, I think we need to hear the full interview first of all to get all the information. And I think from Ronaldo point of view, he is being disrespectful to the club now by doing an interview like this while he's still employed by the club. So from that side, that's disrespectful. Um, as far as I remember, the club did say during the preseason that he is missing for personal reasons. It wasn't like an official club statement saying that he is intentionally staying away from training. If there's anything, there's more rumors on Ronaldo's side that was coming out that he shopping around for another club to leave. So that is what was being mixed with the whole preseason talk, where on his side it was like he looking to leave, but he not coming to training for personal reasons. So it was the information coming from his camp is what kind of led people to think, well, is really personal reasons, or is it because you're looking to leave the club? Because something similar went on at Juve before he left them. So it's kind of
But
the track record they were looking at with him and how he handled the situation. It was clear that he was leaving Juve last summer. It was seeming clear like he leaving us this summer. So the information itself that was out there during preseason, to me, is what would have caused people to kind of look at it from an angle as to, well, he doing something here because he trying to leave the club or not, because it wasn't clear. Like, I do remember him coming out and saying, well, his daughter now, well, it was just personal reasons. Like, you don't have to. But I remember him saying that, and the club didn't say, well, he just not showing up for training. They kept saying he isn't joining up to the squad yet for personal reasons. So until I hear the full interview to hear exactly how he felt disrespected, I will hold back a little bit on what I am saying, because to me, it's more disrespectful of him to be doing what he's doing now. Because he is taking all the attention away from the club and putting all the attention on himself and making himself as if he's bigger than the club. And I am losing a lot of respect for a player that I really admired and is one of my favorite players of all time. I'm losing respect for him because of how he is behaving now. Is he worse?
Yeah.
I
he,
Jody,
I would say, oh,
I will come to you. I will come to you last, right, Jody?
yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Phil.
so I can put it another way. I will never lose respect for Ronaldo, the football player, but I'm starting to lose respect for Ronaldo, the human being. Right? I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
that's the best way I can put it. Right?
Mhm.
yeah.
I I think timing is everything. Right? And Ronaldo has very piss poor timing in terms of when to release news about himself. Right? Or he likes to get his way when things are not going his way. For example, not coming on for Spurs, and stealing the shine from Garnacho today. Now,
Hmm.
with regards to the interview, was that more of Ronaldo's fault? I would say it's more of Piers Morgan's fault, because I think Piers Morgan did that purposely to because he's one of the most controversial Arsenal fans on social media. Right, has a very large
Yeah,
following, and at the end of the day, Piers Morgan knows what he's doing. Right, Ronaldo did the interview, yes, but that type of interview could have been released next year. Right, by the end of the day, you steal the shine from Garnacho and you do it right before the World Cup. So Piers Morgan knows what he's doing, right? Now, with regards to the personal issues that Ronaldo was going through, I didn't see any club statements saying along the lines, Ronaldo is going through some personal issues with his family and his close loved ones, so please respect him, right? I didn't see anything from that from the club, right? Maybe I missed it, or maybe you guys can correct me, right? By the end of the day, um, and I'll give it off to Jody by saying these last few words. For some reason, Ronaldo is more entitled, and he lacks a lot of self awareness. I would say that. And I'll also leave off a few more words before I give it to Jody. And I'm sure everybody has watched The Dark Knight, where Harvey Dent said, "You either die a hero or you live long enough to
To
see
be a villain.
yourself become the villain."
become the
And
villain.
Ronaldo,
Yeah,
and Ronaldo is right now the latter, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
off to you, Jody.
Now, and they couldn't get to jump in yet.
Yeah, they
I want
call
Jody coming last. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear I definitely hear what Kave's saying, that definitely you don't want the club, right? You don't want the club to more or less dehumanize a player, right? But But my thing to that is, at no time the club did that, right? At most of the times, Ten Hag, even the club would have stood behind the decision, because we could have been, I think we were more or less thinking and saying, well, coming up with all these hypothetical things that Ronaldo wants out. Possibly Ronaldo maybe wanted out after he felt disrespected by the club, but at no point that the fan base from the club would have felt that the club is training Ronaldo under the bus, or the club is exposing Ronaldo for wanting to leave the club. To me, everything was more or less kind of social media kind of information, and as Kev would have said, we lapping up these information and running with it, and and going against players off of social media, because we have done it with Martial, right? It had times with Martial last season. Things would have been said. We know what he went through with Ragnick. Who knows? We still don't know exactly what went on, right? But the social media hype would have put us against Martial. Some would have went against Martial, some would have went against Ragnick. But still, we didn't know exactly what was going on. However, I think that Ronaldo would have made himself feel he's bigger than Manchester United by the things he would have said. And to me, that was disrespectful. Yes, we know we're in a rebuilding process, we're in a rebuilding phase, but you're still employed with this. They're still an employer. Maybe that it is that after the World Cup you're going to retire. You're going to say, well, you're going to do a PK and say, well, that is it. Maybe that was the plan of all of this. And he going to Piers Morgan. He knew that this was going to happen. He knew that this was going to leak.
Yeah.
So all of this was planned.
Yep.
So to me, I find, as JP would have said also, I kind of losing respect towards that, because a professional should be a professional. You're in a contract, you're a professional. After that, you could do what you want, but while you're paying your wages, show some respect to us as a club. And that is just my thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now I hear everybody point of view on this, right? Now, this stems way back than just pre-season and just before. It stems way back from since last year. When it started from last season, when it had a lot of leaks coming out of the dressing room, right? Now, when them leaks was coming out, everybody wanted to know who it is we're leaking, who it is we're not leaking. So I jumping forward now to Ronaldo come out and he started to leak everything. Now everybody upset with him. They find he disrespecting the club. They find he feel he bigger than the club, which is he just talking his mind. You understand? He on his way out. This interview, to me, I feel, took place about a week ago. Honestly, because he did not play Tuesday and he did not play today. You understand? And somehow the other club get to find out about it and the so-called sickness that he end up with. Right? It's probably they ban him, they fine him, wherever it is. We have to wait till the 90-minute interview come out, because 90 minutes longer here it is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When that come out, then we will know exactly how to pass judgment on him. As to the disrespectful part with Ten Hag, no. It's just not Ten Hag alone he talk about. He said have
Rooney.
higher ball players around Ten Hag that doing the same as well, which could be, I don't know, whoever in upper management. Then he said it have players too who want him out of the club. You understand? Now, me as not a professional footballer, just play my little football and thing. Why I wouldn't want to play football with Ronaldo? Or why I wouldn't want to play football with Messi? I a once in a lifetime opportunity you get in, right? From that point of view, right? Ten Hag didn't bring him on against Man City. He came out to the media and said he did not want to disrespect Ronaldo because of his accomplishment in football, right? But 2 weeks later, you want to bring him on in 89 minutes of our game. Now tell me which one more disrespectful.
But what disrespectful? In fact, go ahead.
That's not disrespectful, Jody.
Sorry. Go ahead, Jody. Go ahead.
Shit.
Sorry for cutting across. I just couldn't help it, but go ahead.
Right. You're bringing on the man.
Let the man drive the vehicle, man.
Yeah. Just 2 weeks ago, just listen to me, Nico. Just 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago,
go
you're
ahead, go ahead.
saying that you did not want to bring him on in the 70th minute because of the respect you have for him. But then they come to disrespect him to bring him on in the 89 minutes to do what? To do what, Nico? You have Ganacho, you have all them other small man, and they can get a little 5 minutes run in the EPL and let Ronaldo say, well, here what's going on. You said wrong all this game. When it
Judy,
was Sean did that,
I want to say one thing, right?
yeah,
I just want to say,
continue,
yeah, I just want to say one
Jo-
Just
problem.
Nico,
Continue.
Nico, let me just say one thing, Jody, right before Nico cut you.
Yeah, go
Just to clarify what Ten Hag said. Ten Hag didn't say, he said out of respect for his career, not for
Right.
Ronaldo. Yeah. Is that difference? Is that total difference, eh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nico.
So that's my point. So my point is this. So he not coming on in the 89th minute or the 90th minute, right? That's disrespecting Ronaldo because why? Ronaldo bigger than Manchester United. So that is why that is the only how it could be a disrespect to Ronaldo.
And I came on and I said, I do not support his antics for walking off, whether it was pre-season game or whether it was against his Spurs games where he walked off and went on it. I supporting that. At the end of the day, you can stay on the sideline and let him know, well, yeah, I'm not coming on. But it can't be, all right, disrespecting the club now. Me talking about Ten Hag, I talking about the entire club disrespecting the club by walking off and going out. And the club, I mean all the fans who sit down behind the TV, who spend the money to come in the stadium and sit down and watch the game, right? You can't be disrespecting everybody like that and walking off. You understand? So that is my point when coming to that. Ronaldo clearly doesn't want to be at Manchester United anymore. So that is why this interview come out and we just had to say wait till Wednesday and then we go see exactly what's going on. But for me, I feel it have more still had a bus open. I don't think based on we now get Ten Hag's review, right? I don't think Ten Hag is a disrespectful coach, really and truly. He may be a stern coach. He will be stern with his players, but I don't think he really disrespectful to say Ronaldo that he will disrespect Ronaldo verbally or whatever. His action may seem he disrespecting Ronaldo, but then Ronaldo buying it.
Jody,
Because
what?
if you walk
Go
off,
ahead.
if you walk off one team, you don't expect to come and play the next game. You understand? And that is why I like about Ten Hag that he take, I said it earlier, he take the biggest of them and the smallest of them,
Humble
which
them.
was Ronaldo and Garnacho, and he put them in their place. And I have no problem with that. And I'm not, me as an individual, not going to be against Ten Hag. Because at this interview, I'm not going on because I like what he's doing with the club and how he's progressing and going forward.
Jody, my thing, right?
Let me want to jump in on that point there.
Right. Well, one thing, let me say one thing. You know, if Maguire had an ego, like Ronaldo, it could have been the same circus with Maguire also. But go ahead, Keith.
What Maguire do though? Anyways, with Jody, with Jody, it's like you say, he could, with Ten Hag, he could talk to the biggest of them and the youngest of them. And that's the thing, you got to treat all players fair. We could all agree on that. But how you get across that message, you have to do it on an individual basis. And I listened to Roy Keane, because people were talking about when Roy Keane was saying that that the manager is being disrespectful to Ronaldo. I was confused. I was like, but how? And then he said, it's fair to treat everybody the same way, but you got to communicate with Ronaldo. You can't communicate with Ronaldo like how you going to communicate with Elanga or Rashford or Martial. You have to communicate. This is one of the biggest personalities. Not saying that he's bigger than anyone, but I mean, technically he is. Personality-wise, reputation-wise, whatever. But how you get that message across, you can't do it the same way that you do it with everybody, and that's where I could see where you're coming from with that point, Jody.
Yeah. So basically, Ronaldo, as I said, like he had enough, so he just come out say what he had to say because as I put it, that is it for him. You understand?
Yeah.
And knowing Ten Hag is a no-nonsense man, that is the end for Ronaldo there because Ten Hag is going on suck up to he. Remember, he looking to build the club right now.
Right.
Not a third time. Not a third time.
Huh?
Ten Hag will be not a third time.
Yeah, and probably the club was holding on to Ronaldo because of the how to put it, the viewership he bringing in.
Marketing.
Yeah, you
Marketing
understand?
aspect.
Exactly, and did not want to let him go because they're going to hear two different sides of the story. You're going to hear Ronaldo saying he wanted to leave, but the club did not want him to go. And then you hear the club saying we tell him to leave, but he did not want to leave.
We can see all the politics coming out to the fray now because the club can be a damage limitation mode from now to the end of the week.
And that is why I put up a post on Facebook saying I would like to see what is the club response and Ten Hag response to this before I could really say where I want to see.
I don't think Jody that you'll get much from the club and Ten Hag. They will remain diplomatic.
Become more professional.
And you want to know why you're not going to get much from the club? Is because you got the journalists that are plugged into the club. They don't want to lose their connection with the club. So they're not going to go against something that's going to make them risk losing their connection. So the club, basically the journalists that work for the media houses, they're going to do the legwork for Manchester United.
Correct.
If you had an independent journalist, they don't have any allegiance. If you work for a media house, you're going to have an allegiance. So,
so for me, when coming to Ronaldo, thank you for your service, whoever you did for us last season. Thank you for the service. Thank you for it from in the past. You understand? He will still always be one of my favorite players. He and Messi still will always be one of my favorite players. But it's time for him to move on. I'm not going to say get out of the club, but it's time for you to move on. And you don't make a bid, so you had to lie down on it.
But here's the thing, right? Because at the end of the day, no club out there wants you. No manager out there wants to work with you. Because the entire world is paying attention to what transpired within the last 3 to 4 hours. Why on God's green earth would a manager at a top club, after seeing him exposing Ralph, exposing Ten Hag, why would they want to work with you, right? If United had to sever ties with Ronaldo in January, Ronaldo, you got to go and do some wrong thing. I'm sorry.
You see, the thing about it is Ronaldo is sabotaging nobody. He just calling out everybody for what he's
sabotaging himself.
He's sabotaging himself.
Well, right, but he calling out everybody who he believes doing him wrong, right?
Ronaldo said, "Nobody better don't offset me because I can offset everybody."
Exactly. So that was it.
But think about it.
To his plan, to his knowledge, he calling out everybody who he think doing him wrong right now at this moment. You understand?
But then he been outside. He been outside.
Would I be a good or a bad?
Maguire ain't got the clout to do this here. Stop that. Stop that.
My point is this, right? When I talk about Maguire, my point is this, right? The reason Ronaldo is not playing, and I look at shoot me down anyhow what I take it, because Ronaldo is not performing to the standard that Ten Hag wants.
The only
and
reason,
and that's the same reason Maguire isn't playing, because he's not performing at the level that Ten Hag wants.
But Nico, everybody know the only reason Ronaldo was playing because Martial was injured. Everybody could agree to that.
But Ronaldo agreeing to that, Chapal?
Ronaldo had ample chances to change that because Martial was injured. But the chances Ronaldo gets, he has not taken them. So therefore, I don't see any disrespect in leaving him on the bench. You're not taking your chances, and he get real chances. And my whole thing with Ronaldo is, the position that Ronaldo has, the clout that Ronaldo has, he should be using that for better, because the younger players looking at him. We're talking about Garnacho attitude problem. Ronaldo is his idol. So this is what he's teaching a young player like Garnacho. that is why I say I'm losing respect for him, because
No,
you have
but
players
JP,
who idolize you, and this is how you acted
Can't put
as
that
somebody.
responsibility on the player, man. He
but
ain't asked to be an
JP,
idol.
No,
JP.
Even though he
In
asked
the
that cave,
interview,
that there,
in the
that kind of
interview,
automatic,
it
eh?
there, it
It
there,
there,
But he
and
that
still
all
gotta
the
be
automatic.
players
himself
come
though.
out.
He still gotta be
It's,
It's not
himself.
automatic.
but JP in the interview, he said that even some of the young players not gravitating to what he's teaching them on the field.
That was
When I mean on the field, in the
past
training.
regime, eh? That was past. That was on that early, and we know who he's talking about. We know he was talking about Greenwood.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
but that was telling Nico, remember everything will come out now when from that tell you this stem from
Yeah, but why it coming out
beginning of
now?
last season. Because
It's 10 against
supposed
charge
to come
now.
out. It's supposed to
10
come out
against
since
charge
watch
now.
me. Listen, it's supposed to come out since August, right? That is when you
No,
want
but
to do.
Jody, that yesterday that interview was just last week or week after. It could come out since August. It was
Yeah.
last
No,
week.
No,
I said
you
it's
remember he was
supposed.
talking about it. Remember he's
It's
saying
supposed
do
to
an
come out
interview
since
from since
August.
then. Remember you remember you was
Yeah,
talking
Yeah,
about it a long time.
you were saying that.
Right. So it's supposed to come out since August. Everybody came with the opinion that was because he got moved to our next club, he say nothing, or whatever. Behind closed doors, we don't know what take place with he and Ten Hag. Whatever discussion they had, wherever it may be. We don't know what take place behind closed doors with he and board members or whatever. You understand? Because in the interview again, he said he spoke to Sir Alex Ferguson, telling him, and they both agree, and this Ronaldo quoting it from the interview, that they both agree with certain things how the club running. So
fellas,
You know what?
So
Let me
here we go,
interject on
right?
that point. Let me interject on that point. How many players since Ferguson retired? How many players, managers, and agents have spoken out about how this club is run?
All.
That's
Exactly.
that's the big issue. That's the bigger
And that's
picture
the
there, and
point.
that's a big
So
issue.
Yeah.
Ronaldo not before he come back. So
And-
what he coming to say now?
No,
Because if
Ronaldo
Right,
know
so
that.
guys-
Not everybody
Ronaldo
know that.
but Ronaldo know that
but
before he
Everybody
come
know
back.
that.
But Nico,
All right,
Nico, you see
so-
the thing about it?
Boy,
Jody.
Reem, good luck in trying to
One
get us
more
to
thing.
stop talking, boy.
One thing,
Yeah, good
you
luck.
see the thing about it, Nico, you see the thing about it is that Ronaldo, before he was getting little leaks, the man Ronaldo come out with this 90-minute interview and he spilled all the beans, apparently. So we go see what taking place. Before
So
Right.
being Ronaldo, he should have go back to the club before he see people pen to paper and do a little tour and see that the gym had changed, see that the pool had changed, see that he's
Oh gosh, but
cafeteria and say
Let's
we'll forget that
let's not
boy
act like
and
he's
say
telling
forget that
himself
being
to be
going back
great,
there.
man.
fellas,
we could already
So agents just do that for you.
fellas,
Agents
yeah, man,
do that
yeah, man.
for you.
Like
Yeah,
a
man,
career
yeah, man.
strategy.
Yeah, man,
When I saw
guys.
that comment with regards to the pool and the I saw that comment with the pool and the jacuzzi. I said, Ronaldo, you can't be that entitled, man. Come on.
Right?
No, but guys,
That's
hear
what
this,
I'm
right?
saying.
Hear this. Jody, hear this, right?
Yeah.
Hear this. So this was just intended to be a teaser, right? So that when we actually do this discussion, when the full video come out, you know, we know people will be peeled, you know, their ears will really want to hear what we have to say about it. So we get them a little taste, right?
Right, one
It's
more
going to
thing.
It's a
be
teaser.
One more thing.
Just let me know when it's gonna be.
One
Ronaldo-
Let me
more
know what
thing,
the big
one more
deal
thing
is.
for everybody.
Right, Ronaldo just like, this is my final take. Ronaldo just like the headlines, we all know that, right? And this is final hurrah then.
Let me
Listen,
find out
that
whoever
we
the
gonna-
World Cup
watch
now,
me.
Jody. Let me find out whoever the World Cup now.
No, watch me.
You making me Manchester United make no. Let me find out whoever the World Cup for
Nico.
Portugal. Win the World Cup for Portugal.
Listen, Nico. Wednesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time, the whole world practically gonna shut down because everybody want to know what happened with this man. And that is what he wants. That is what he wants. That is my
Petty and
final take.
childish. Well, it's
That my
petty and
final
childish.
That my
If that is
final
what he
take.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, let me just get through some of the comments here and then let me wrap it, right? Because we want to make sure that when we come with our show on this Ronaldo matter, everybody will be excited to hear what Jody had to say again.
I comment
You know,
people
everybody-
falling for that one after.
Yeah, everybody want to know what
They catch me
what
off guard, they
JP,
catch
what
me
Nico,
off guard, they
what
catch me off
Phil,
guard tonight.
what Cave, you know what everybody had to say. I realize me say nothing, eh? I hold
Yeah,
my
you
I
catch
hold
me
my
off
tongue this evening, eh? All right. So Riyadh on the inside, you know, right, saying like I said in June 2021, we should have never bought him back. And in July, I also said we should have gotten rid of him. Right? Arun saying here we do not need this right now. Yeah, the timing real off. Right?
Yeah.
Riyadh saying Ten Hag showed nothing but respect toward Ronaldo.
No, you say Christ.
Right? No, guys,
Seven.
if you disagree, yeah. If cry 7. Guys, if you disagree with the comments, hold your thought, right? Because we're just going to get through the comments so we can wrap it up, right?
Go ahead. I'll go mute my mic.
Eric Lewis saying here, my expectation before a ball was kicked this season is that we would not finish in top 4. However, looks like we can. But a lot will depend on January transfer window time for the Glazers to back Ten Hag. Right? Eric saying here, to Phil's point, all signings so far have been outstanding. Yes. We're saying from Cristiano's, yes, it will be interesting sometimes to hear what the players' side, and I think Cave, kind of mentioned that a little more. So it's important sometimes to hear what the players saying, right? His point of view is. All right, yeah. He also said here, and Ten Hag kept reiterating that Cristiano was away for family reasons. So he did say that.
Yeah.
Riyadh come out
Maybe
with
Ronaldo felt
Ronaldo.
disrespected because Ten Hag has more balls than Ronaldo. All right. There's also 2 Borat can live in the same hole, so I mean we know Borat we keeping. Riyadh saying, as far as I'm concerned, his daughter was hospitalized in July. What is his excuse for walking off against Spurs? Riyadh, come out, boy. Right? An interview with Piers Morgan of all people. Yeah, from the time it was Piers Morgan, we didn't know, hey, boy, you're going to sleep with the devil, boy? Remember when George Mendes was pimping Ronaldo all summer? Man was offering 30% discount too.
Boy, Riyadh got
Ronaldo,
but he call him, man.
He's saying, I don't think Ronaldo is finished. Style is not suitable for him. We can vamp everything for 37-year-old.
Yeah, but who manager all the drama?
Yeah, boy, Riyadh come out tonight, boy.
Yeah, Riyadh come out real hard.
We remove that comment from the screen quick, boy.
No, Ronaldo disrespectful.
Simeon saying, if Ronaldo was scoring, this would have been a different story. If Ronaldo was Ronaldo the player, he might have torn this fan base and club apart. Yeah. Red saying, simple, get rid of Ronaldo by December 26th.
Oh God, I need to go. Nah, that's how I go.
He dropped
Nobody place nobody. Who area vex by? Somebody area vex by. Somebody area vex.
We're just typing here,
He committed.
He talked about Sir Alex Ferguson in the if Sir Alex Ferguson would have done what Sir Alex Ferguson would have done if he was still in charge today.
At the end of that.
Yeah.
Forget good shit.
Yeah.
As of midnight tonight.
As of midnight tonight.
Yeah, that was forgive what I say.
So you're saying as bad as he's fit, as bad as he's fit the system, the Ronaldo we knew could have scored in. Okay, so as bad as he's fit for the system, I guess the Ronaldo we knew could have scored in every single game, and have the fans looking at Ten Hag side eye. Yeah. But Ronaldo, he's just not performing right, and I think that is what kind of making the case against him so strong.
Yeah, but even if he was playing, Ronaldo, if he was scoring, he'd have been playing, so nobody would have watched
exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a theory on that too, but I'm not going to share it now.
Okay.
Yeah. Javid saying here, Ronaldo not able to accept his decline. He's had a host of personal issues over his career, but his form has gotten him through. Not being able to go to man anymore hurting him, and he looking for scapegoats. He knew this was a project, and he was not the long-term option. Yeah.
How do we know that though?
Yeah.
We don't know what vision they saw for Ronaldo.
I mean, at 37, you can't. Come on, Cave. At 37,
You can't expect to be long term. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be long term. Right? Whether it's the first match to the 97th minute, if a manager tell you come on, you gotta
we
come
come
on.
second. Oh, you saw the comment too, no? Boy, Real was on fire, boy.
He ain't want to be here. Alright, so let me just pull out the more, pertinent ones, right? He is an employee of the club and Ten Hag is his manager. If Ten Hag wants to talk to him in the corridor, then so be it. Alright, Curtin saying here, didn't I say way back when I didn't want him and his ego back at my club? Alright. I'll leave it somebody's comments or
Yeah, boy. These comments on another level tonight, boy.
You see
Boy, you can imagine that Ronaldo
that is
segment,
it.
boy, can be
But
fire.
They call that the CR7 effect. You see the effect you have on people? Yeah. I all have to.
I hope you don't have that effect on Ganacho.
Yeah, I had to call.
That is all.
And
Hey, just now, hey, don't talk about Ganacho here. Continue, Reem, continue. I have something to say about Ganacho. Go ahead, Reem.
Reem,
Right.
order.
So Simeon saying order in the court, order. Alright, and Javed saying here, the saddest thing is 2 wins that we should leave us a high.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Reem, Riyad tells me I coming from Riyad. Ronaldo equal to Portuguese Van der Beek. Hey, cool. That was nah. You still are so bad, man. Don't go. Cool.
Watch that. Read. You're going to end the show now?
Real don't want
we're
tonight, boy.
Guys. So Riyad, yeah, we're going to be coming back on the show after the full interview will come out, which will be about Thursday or so. So come back Thursday, right, Riyad? Jeez. So guys, this was good,
And make sure I'm planning the dates for Thursday.
At the end of the day, yes. At the end of the day, we going back to the team. We want to, as Javid pointed it out here, we win, right? And we want to end on a positive this evening, right? It was a positive result. How much points off fourth place? 5 points with a game in hand, right? And the way how Spurs and them going.
5 points, I think.
5 on 3. There's 3. There's 3 points.
3 points per game in
No, it's 3 points.
3 points in a game.
Yeah.
Right.
It's 3 points.
So 3 points off top 4 with a game in hand. So guys, we're looking good, right? We're looking good.
6 points off City.
Right, look at that. And City drop points, teams dropping points earlier. Chelsea, we're all going with Chelsea. So guys, we looking positive. Yeah, we're looking positive, and we could go into into this World Cup break, feeling good about our club and where Ten Hag has brought us from. Because earlier after last season, the hope wasn't there, but now we're looking like we could really finish in top 4. We could push for top 4 finish once we get the consistency and I guess the reinforcement in January, right? So things not as bad as we thought it was. We do expect that we will lose games still, right? We're not there yet. We're not that team yet. It's just how much steps forward that we're going to make after every loss, So guys, any closing thoughts at all? If you must have to. Go ahead.
My positive from everything that happened to the football game, Ronaldo, all everything, is Garnacho, but he keep running at Reed, and Reed was getting at him. Keep taking that ball away from him. Keep going until eventually he scored a winner for victory. So that's my positive from today.
Yeah. If we had more time, I'd talk to Nick. I'd ask Nick about a penalty shouted because I kind of find out a penalty.
Boy. The penalty.
I don't know why they keep doing
one more positive.
Yeah.
One more positive, right? Before we go, it's World Cup time, right?
Nice.
I get my limited edition Black Brazil.
Nice one.
Right? You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So we ready for them.
The only reason I will support Jody with this is because I currently talking to 2 Brazil girls at the same time, right? So
Germany boy, I don't want Germany, but I have normally Chinese we grew up back in Brazil. Back in Brazil.
I like in Argentina, boy.
Germany, I watch
Argentina, right?
that Germany team.
That
I
the
don't know
only
why I
team
feel
that
Argentina.
the only team I fear in this World Cup is Argentina.
I don't know why I feel Argentina going to do something this World Cup. I don't know why. I feel South America getting the World Cup this year. That is all I feel.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so it was nice. So it was
I feel how
nice.
it's
We
still
hit
that one.
up to the we hit up to the end of the show. Probably should I just focus on Ronaldo and the show must have been lit. But we'll come back on Thursday after as we said, we'll come back on Thursday, guys, after the full interview come out, and we'll get a chance to properly take in everything, and then we'll come here with full information to talk about this thing, and then I might probably give my thoughts too, right? So guys, Phil, JP, Jody, Caveman, thanks for joining Nico and myself. Alright, guys, and we will see you all on the next one. Have a good
Yeah,
night,
but
everybody.
Riyadh, love in the house still.
All right. So my best one.